The persistent hunger for greener pastures in Europe continues to drive irregular migration in the Gambia. In the latest operation, the Gambia Immigration Department intercepts 75 potential migrants, including women and minors, in Yarambamba, New Yundum, West Coast region. The individuals are reportedly harbored in a 3-bedroom apartment, awaiting a boat to transport them to their intended destination. According to the GID's Public Relations Officer, Inspector Siman Lu, the operation, conducted jointly with the West Coast Region Task Force, follows a tip-off from a concerned citizen about suspicious activities in the area. Authorities discovered the migrants living in an overcrowded and unsanitary conditions. Inspector Lowe confirmed that the group comprises 34 Senegalese, 35 Guineans, 4 Gambians and 2 Bissau Guineans, including 12 women and 4 minors.
Going by the statistics of this particular case, we have 34 of them who are Senegalese, 35 of them as Guineans, 4 are Gambians, and 2 from Bissau Guineans. And among this number, 63 of them are found to be male, 12 are female, and 4 are minors. Now, they were all harbored in that compound until when we had raided the compound, and they were now taken to Tangi at the training school here.
The interception highlights the growing trend of clandestine migration attempts from the Gambia, where economic hardship, youth unemployment, and limited opportunities push thousands toward the dangerous backway route. Despite awareness campaign about risks like human trafficking, abuse, and deadly sea crossing, many remain determined to seek better lives abroad. Inspector Lowe notes that this marks the latest in a series of foiled migration attempts. He referenced an earlier incident involving a boat found abandoned on Bijilo Beach near Monkey Park. The vessel carrying 200 migrants later departs the Gambia but suffer engine failure at sea. Passengers end up 4 days adrift before returning to shore.
Investigations. In this particular case, out of this 21, we've also realized that we have 2 people that are found to be perpetrators. One of them is an agent called Alhaji Top, a Gambian, and also an agent called Ibrahim Sedi, who's also a Gambian. But then the main organizer of this particular suspected intercepted case was Mohamed Jan, who's a Senegalese national. So the case also was very much critical. At the end, we were able to find 1 dead body in the boat that was also left around the Monkey Park. So this case occurred on the 3rd of March 2025.
The Gambia remains one of West Africa's top source of illegal migrants. Inspector Lowe added that investigation into the New Yundum case revealed a Gambian businessman rented the apartment, which an alleged smuggling agent now at large used to organize the journey.
But then, as you all know, the Gambia also has so many porous borders that sometimes you may leave without even going by the required entry point. So there is still a chance that he might be able to escape if he doesn't pass through those entry points. However, we will engage with our Senegalese counterparts as we've been working tirelessly with them. A few months ago, we had received their own data into GID, and we talked about how can we collaborate to be able to support immigration work. So we will engage with them and find necessary mechanisms as to what could be done to have Mr. Joe also be taken into custody.
The fight against irregular migration faces significant hurdles. The GID spokesperson emphasized that the absence of a legal framework criminalizing migration smuggle undermines efforts. Without sustainable solution, the backway remains an irresistible gamble for those desperate to escape poverty.
And then, when it comes to smuggling in the Gambia, it is still not criminalized. There is no law we have in this country that says nobody should be engaged into smuggling of migrants. So if this is still under situation, we've now realized that that is why we have most non-Gambians using the Gambia as a hotspot and a hub. Because if you go to Senegal, they have laws that talk about migration. So now if they are arrested or intercepted there, they can go to the courts. But if you come to the Gambia, even though you might be prosecuted, you have minimal rules that can punish you. For instance, if an organizer is able to raise, let's say, millions in just one envelope, and the person is intercepted, and he or she goes to court, you realize that in most occasions, the highest they can be fined is about $50,000. So it becomes now a business venture for them because they realize that in the Gambia, I can still do it. I wouldn't go to a prison. I'll just be fined an amount of money and I'll go back to my business and do other activities. So it's really concerning, and I think it's important that we get the support of policymakers, we get the support of lawmakers, to also help the GID in trying to have laws that's going to back our operations. As we speak, we have the Immigration Bill of 2023 that was developed and drafted with support from DICAF, the Gambia. But then up to today, since last year, that bill had not been approved by the cabinet. It has also not been moved, in fact, to the parliament level. So we have to operate unguided without any laws that back the work that we are doing. However,
despite repeated interceptions, economic despair and the alloy of Europe continue to fuel perilous journey across the Atlantic and Mediterranean Sea. For many, the dream of a brighter future overshadowed the stark reality of trafficking, exploitation, and death at sea. For TFN News, I am Aliu Jallo.